letting go. So, without forgiveness of yourself and forgiving other people, uh, now what you need to do is you need to let go of the situations. You got to let go of people. You got to let go of things that you can't control. So I was talking about the word worry, and the worry actually means strangle. The root word is to strangle, to suffocate. So Ernest Hemingway, great quote by Ernest Hemingway, says, worry a little bit every day. In a lifetime, you'll lose a couple of years. If something is wrong, fix it if you can, but train yourself not to worry. Worry never fixes anything. So you can only, like, it's all, I've heard the saying, when you look at your arm and you stretch your arm out, you can only influence this much in your surroundings. So I can only change what I can reach right here. I can't influence any more than that. I know with technology today, there's internet and there's phone. You can call too, on phone. I know those things are there, but I mean, you got to get to that mindset. I can only affect what's right in my little circle here, and I'm going to talk about that again, about your circle. But letting go of situations, as Ernest Hemingway says, you'll lose years when you're worried about things. So letting go circle. So what I want to show you, this circle that I have drawn, that's in my journal. I drew it years ago, a couple of years ago, and here it is right here. So this is a circle. I hope you can see it. There it is right there. All right. So you'll notice I've got some things in this circle right here. There's some things in this circle, and these are the things that I can directly affect. These are the things that I can influence. As you notice, there's a good number in this circle right here, but there's a ton of things outside the circle. A lot more things outside the circle than inside the circle. But over time, as I did this, I saw there were actually a lot of things that I could influence inside my circle too. It began to grow, but at first there's just a few. But there's a million things. You could say there's a couple hundred in this one, but there's a million things in this one that I cannot influence and I cannot affect. So what I challenge you to do is to take a sheet of paper out when you have time and draw this circle. Just draw a circle. And inside the circle are going to be things that you can change, things that you can influence, things you have control over. Outside the circle are things you have no control over. So I'm going to share a few things, and not share everything, but share in my circle. So outside of my circle, things that I can't control. Now this is coming after, I'll go back again, after you've forgiven. Now we're letting go of things. You got to forgive first, got to forgive yourself, got to love yourself and then love other people, and then forgive others and work towards not being resentful or, not being hateful or angry. And now we're getting to a place where I'm just letting stuff go. I'm releasing, I'm letting go. So in my circle, I have big, huge one, a thing that I can't control. I mean, in my circle, I have things I can control. Outside of my circle, I have things I can't control. And one of the biggest things that I have, and I think we all have, is time. I wrote it right there, time. I can't control time. I can do things to manage time, manage my time, but I can't control the day. The hours and the seconds of the day are going to go forward, and I can't stop time. I can't stop it. It's going to go forward. Life is going to go on with me or without me. So I can't control it. So that's outside of my circle. Another thing I can't control outside of my circle is I can't control politics. I can't control the news. I can't control what anybody says on TV. I can't control what any politician does, who gets elected, who's president, who's not president. I can't control any of that. Someone say, well, I can vote. Yes, okay, I can vote. So I say there is some control in me going to the bowling booth and voting. There's some control over that. But I can't, in the long run, I can't control who's elected. There's millions of other people casting their vote. All I can control is my influence. And there's millions of other people out there voting, and so I can't control who the president of China is. I can't control who the leader of Russia is. I can't control who the leader of Czechoslovakia is. I can't control any of these people. But one thing I can control is I can control me going to voting booth and putting my individual vote and feel like I've made a difference there. But I can't control overall. I can't control any of the politics that are happening. I can't control what they do in the Senate and the House of Representatives, what the president does. I can't control any of that. So I can't control traffic. That's another one. So I can't control traffic. Traffic's going to happen. Dallas traffic especially, it's going to happen with or without me. But it's going to be traffic jams with or without me because there's other people. And I can't control what happens, who has a wreck, who doesn't have a wreck. I can't control those things. They're out of my control. I can't control war. I can't control, let's see, another one is, I can't control people's feelings. You ever had times where you've done something really good for something, but the reaction to it is not what you expected? You thinking, I've done this great thing for something, and they react. They should be happy. Why aren't they happy? I can't control their feelings. They feel what they feel. I can't control that. I can have some influence, though, over my feelings and what I feel. I can't control natural disasters. I can't control unforeseen circumstances. Can't control those things. I can't control people's opinions. I can't control family pressure, what my family does. I can't control that. I can't control unforeseen expenses sometimes. Sometimes things come up. I can't control them. I can't control the future. I can't control people's attitudes. Let's see, another one. I can't control the weather. The weather, it's going to rain or not rain. I don't have much influence over that. As I've gone through these, I can't control the economy. All these things, how other people react to me. So all these things are outside my circle, and there's millions of them, millions of them. But what can I control inside my circle? That's the key. What can I control inside my circle? So I've drawn the circle. There's all the things outside my circle. There's inside. So there's some things in there. I can control my rest. I can control my attitude. So I can control the time that I can get a certain job, and the job has certain hours, and then be off certain days. And then I can choose on these days, I'm going to sleep during these times. I'm going to rest during these times, take time for myself. I'm going to go to a movie, or I'm going to go out and play football, pick up football with some friends. I can control those things. I can go drive my car. I can control what I speak. I can keep my mouth shut or not keep my mouth shut. The mouth is a weapon. I can use it as a weapon to hurt someone, or I can use it as a healing for people. So I can control those things. I can control me and my relationship with God. How much time I pray, how much time I don't pray. I can control my responsibilities. I have certain responsibilities to do, certain things that need to be done during the day, certain tasks that need to be done. I can make a choice to try to accomplish those tasks, try to accomplish goals on my list. I'm the one who controls whether I pay my bills or not. I'm the one who has to get up and go work to make money to pay my bills. I'm the one who has to call the bill collector or send that check out or go to the bank and make that deposit. I'm the one who has control over that. I can choose not to, and my life can get really hard, or I can choose to do it. I have control over that. I can control how I respond to people. When people say something to me, I can control how I respond to that. I can get angry, I can get upset. I know in the past, one thing I did is when people would tell me something I didn't like, or something I didn't feel was right, I would react and get angry, or I would try to argue with them. And now I'm getting to a place where I try to listen and try to understand more, and try to react. Let me rephrase that. I try to respond and not react. And I feel my life is so much better because now I'm listening to what the person is saying. In the past, even though I may feel like I'm in the right, they're in the wrong, I'm listening and I'm responding in a way, that I think is healthy for both of us. So I can choose. I can choose my personal fitness, how much I exercise, how much I don't. I can choose how much I read. I can choose how to guide my own heart. If I meditate, if I don't meditate, what I speak. I can control how I spend my time. If I want to sleep 5 hours and get up and work on something, I can do that. If I want to sleep 8 hours and not work on anything and just watch movies all day, or just lay in my bed, I can do that. That's something I can do. I control those things. So I just encourage you to make this circle. It's very important. And in your journal, just on a sheet of paper somewhere, and write down the things that you control. I'm telling you, this thing will help you in your life. It helped me out a lot when I wrote it down, because it released me to say, man, I can't control this. What am I trying to control this for? But I can control what's right in front of me, within arm's length, or what's a phone call away, or social media, connect on social media. I can control those things. I can't control how people react to those things, or what they do, or whether you watch this video or whether you don't. I can control certain things in my life. What I eat, what I don't eat, I can control those things, but there's a lot that I can't control. And when we get to that place where we go, hey, I can't control these things anymore, I think we get to a much better place, and we can go, whew, I can let these things go because I have no control over them. So a brain at rest brings a body at rest. So when your brain is at rest and you're letting go of things and you're not trying to control things anymore, and you're only controlling what you can control, you live a much better, much happier life. And things, they may be bad for you right now, but you can only influence what you can influence, and you take it one day at a time, one step at a time, sometimes 1 hour at a time, minute by minute, to affect things in the future. Because little bitty decisions, little hour decisions, make up little day decisions, then make up week decisions, and then make up years where you look back and you go, wow, these small changes. Say you're training for a marathon, you don't just go out there and run the marathon. You can, but it's not a wise decision, and most people can't make it. Your body will start to shut down. But you can train where you can do 1 mile, then 5 miles, then 10 miles, 13 miles, and 16 miles, and 20 miles. Next thing you know, you've run a marathon, but it didn't come overnight. It was a process, little steps. Maturity is accepting you won't get answers to the things that hurt you the most. Heal anyways. So we're step back a little bit, back into forgiveness. And now we're tying forgiveness and letting go in it. And remember what I think I was talking about earlier, is being more mature is actually when you accept that you don't get all the answers, and you're learning to let them things go, even the things that hurt you the most, and you're becoming a person that is not affected. And you're becoming what the word is called contentment. That whether really bad things or really good things happen to you, you're staying balanced and saying, I'm going to be content, and go forward. Focus, rest, and trust gets things done. Without these, you meander through life and don't accomplish what you want to do, what you're meant to do, and don't find fulfillment. So those are 3 big things I think in life. Focus on the task at hand, on your future, on your goals, what you need to be doing. Resting is so important. We don't get enough rest. I'm guilty of that a lot. I can overwork easy, especially when I got bills to pay. But also going, hey, I need to schedule good rest, because if I don't, I'm gonna be sick, or I'm gonna end up in a hospital bed somewhere, or dead. I have to rest, and my body has to rest, has to recoup, and I have to let my brain shut off for a little bit. And trust. I'm trusting to get things done, trusting that the results will happen, that there will be results when I make an effort, and also trusting in God. And these things will get you to the place where you find your purpose, and you find fulfillment. So one thing that the Lord spoke to me a few years ago is He said to me, always try to slow down in life. Don't be in such a hurry, and learn to slow down. Sit back, relax, plan, and then go for it. And quietness and assurance is your strength. Wisdom is found in waiting, praying about it, and being patient. So I have learned so much with just in even the most stressful times, the times where things are, they're coming, what am I going to do? That if I sit back, if I relax, if I slow down, and I say, hey, there's an answer here. I don't know what it is. I don't know the direction, but I'm not going to get to it by worrying and stressing or overworking, because the answer may be that I do less in this way, but earn more in this way. Because lots of people get out there and they work really hard. They work long hours. They work really hard, and they 50, 60 hours a week, and they're still broke, or they're stressed out, they're still stressed out, or they're still unhappy. They're not finding the fulfillment in that. So the best thing is to step back, slow down, think about it, plan it, relax, have that time by yourself or with your loved ones or doing something you love, and stepping back and then regrouping and then stepping out again. And then praying about it, waiting, and being patient. Because the answer is going to come when you do those things. It just sometimes takes time. I really love that scripture. In quietness and assurance is your strength. So quit trying to put out all the fires, in life. You'll see things break out around you. Really what your ultimate goal in life in letting go and forgiving is to be in a place of peace and being at a place of rest where you're not trying to control everything, but you're at the place where I can only control what is right here. I can only control the influence of where my life goes and what I do in my actions, and getting at that place in life where you're not trying to control all those things and you're letting it go, and there's these, the situation. I got to solve this situation over here. I got to fix this over here. I got to make this happen over here. Quit trying to put out all the fires. That's not for you to do. There may be things for you to do, and that comes back to knowing what those things are you need to do. Sitting back, relaxing, resting, praying about it, writing it down, looking it over, planning it out, stepping back at a place of peace, and then out of a place of peace and out of a place of assurance going forward and making the decisions that you need to make and not trying to solve everybody's problems. There's people in our lives sometimes you've helped them, you've bailed them out, you've been there for them, but maybe the best thing for them is they don't need you to bail them out, and I don't need you to be there for them because they're using you, they're stepping over your boundaries, and they're not trying to change. They're not trying to become better people themselves. And so maybe the situation is, I know there's a fire, I know there's what's an emergency, but I don't need to do anything. I need to let them fall. I need to let them fail this time. There may be people in your life like that you need to do that. And that can be a good thing because it can help them grow. That sometimes it's their responsibility to do certain things that they're supposed to be doing. So quit trying to put all the fires out. Letting go of things is a great thing to do. The let go life. One of the guys that I've been listening to for a while, he talks about the let go life. Great thing. I think about just letting things go. I'm letting this go. I'm letting go. I'm not trying to hold on to things. I'm not trying to hold on to people. I'm not trying to hold on to situations. I'm not holding on to resentment or unforgiveness anymore. I'm letting go of things. So putting aside things that you have no ability to impact. Be your own change rather than trying to change others. You can be there for them, but they have to change. It goes right back to what I was saying. You can be there for them if you really need to, but they ultimately have to make the decision to change. They ultimately have to make the decisions to grow and to become better people. And letting go of them is good for you. Keeping yourself in a great mentally healthy state. See the past as valuable training and nothing more. Anything in your past is a learning process. So as they say, the past is a past and the present is the present because it's a gift. The present is a gift. So you got to leave the past. You may have totally blown it back then. You look back and you're like, I regret that. I shouldn't have done that. What could have I done different? How could things have been different? Maybe I could have been there for this person, and I wasn't there for them. But guess what you can do? You may not be able to go back in time in a time machine, but you can do it now. You can do things right now. You can affect things right now from the present, and that will affect the future. You can't change anything in the past. You can't change. I like this old Stephen King movie that I saw called The Langoliers. And in The Langoliers, they actually they're in a plane, and the plane goes to a portal and it goes back in time. And then they go back in time and they keep hearing this crunching noise. Well, it turns out what they find out later is there's no taste. Things don't have taste. Water doesn't, and food doesn't have taste anymore. The sound that they're hearing, so you could bang your hands and there's no echo anymore. So things have been reduced and they keep hearing this crunching noise going on. Well, it turns out there's these creatures that are eating everything up, literally eating reality up, and they're eating the world up. And what they do is they come and they eat the past, and so it's completely gone. I know it's a crazy explanation of the story, but that's kind of how we need to see it. The past is gone. It's gone. it's been eaten up, as you would say. That you can't go back to it. It's gone. It ain't there anymore. It can't be changed by you. But what you can change is the future, and you can go forward for them. And with people, you can't. The only thing you have to impact is what you do. You be your own change rather than trying to change others. You can be there for them, but they have to change. And then also seeing the past as valuable training, and using the past as a training tool for the future. I'm going to be better at this. I'm going to be more forgiving. I'm going to be more compassionate. I'm not going to get angry in traffic. I'm going to try to work it out with my family. I'm going to try to be nicer to my spouse. You're going to get to the place where you're better at these things than you were in the past. So becoming better. And then saying in your mind, I always think mental toughness to me is God's got this. I mean, I say it all the time. God's got this. This is going to work out. And saying these things, I'll have favor today. I'm going to be able to go forward. I'm blessed today. My life will turn out good. These things will work out. Like I was saying, my old mentor, old pastor used to say confessions, and confessing those things seems ridiculous, but it goes into your mind, and then it goes into your emotions, and it can affect the rest of your life. And then knowing that God is okay with you, then knowing like the creator of the universe is actually okay with you. And I think that's a huge thing when you know, like, God's got this, I can trust him. And then the fact that he's okay with me, no matter what's happening. He's not mad at me. He sent his son to die for me, and that I'm okay in this life, and I can live my life free because of his sacrifice. I don't have to solve all the problems, and I don't have to have all the answers. He's got it. He's in control, and he's got this. And he's got my life. Fixing problems is not always the answer. Good news sometimes is the answer. Giving people good news, giving people hope, giving people encouragement, a path forward in life. Those are great, when you have them, because sometimes people, what they really need to change and what they need to grow, you're like, I got to help this person, but sometimes what they really need is just you to encourage them. Hey, man, you're going to make it. Hey, things are going to work out. God's got you. This is going to work itself out. There's an answer to this problem. You're going to figure it out. You are an intelligent person. You do have the ability to love people. You are loved. You can love other people. You are loved. You are forgiven. You can forgive them. You can move past this. There will be another day. There's like the song, tomorrow, there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. So getting to that place where you think there's always tomorrow, there's always another day. There's, the Bible also says his mercies are new every morning. There's a new day, a new dawn. Every day is a fresh start, I believe. You had a day and it was terrible and nothing worked out. You get to start over the next day, And so we just need to live for that. As long as there's breath in your lungs, as long as there's life, there's still hope. Accept where you are right now. Born in iniquity, but forgiven by God, and letting go of the things that are holding on to you, and living a life of expectancy, meaning you live a life that, hey, good things can come to me. These things will work out. So you're letting go of an image, letting go of being in control, and letting go of wanting to appear a certain way or spiritual. Man, that's so important. You're letting go. A lot of times we're trying to keep up this image with people around us. Now, I'm not saying you don't dress nice and you don't try to look good, and you don't try to, keep your hygiene under control, I'm not saying you don't do the things where you dress for success. I'm not saying that, but you need to get to the place where it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I want to be successful and look good to people sometimes, but then in the long run, I don't really care, like, ultimately what they think. You got to get to that place where if you don't care what they think, is it can affect you if it affects you going forward. Now if you care what they think is in regard to their opinion, that's okay to have like what people think about you, their opinion of you, if it's beneficial to you, if it's helping you grow, if the correction that's coming to your life is good correction, is helping you. But if it's not, then you should get to the place where you just don't care. I don't care what they think about me, whatever. I know what I'm doing is right. I feel like it's right in my heart. And I feel like my life can be successful. So I just don't want to get to the place where I don't care. I don't have to be in control of what they think of me. And especially if what they think of you is not good things, or they're speaking negatively, or they're saying you're going to be this way or that way. You got to get to the place where you just don't care. Don't care what society thinks, don't care what people think, but so that you can, be you. You can be yourself. You can be unique. You can, you can stand out. You can be special and, fearfully and wonderfully made. You can be that kind of person. So, and another thing, so letting go of being in control, letting go of appearing a certain way or spiritual. So we're talking about just letting go. I'm throwing stuff out here because these are different ways you can let go. And after you've worked past the process of forgiving yourself and forgiving others, you're letting go of things now. Letting go of wanting to have all the answers. Man, we live in such a society today that you can pick up your phone and you can have the answers immediately to questions. Now, the thing is, they may not be the right answers. You can type it into Google and you may get an answer, but it may not be the right answer. There could be a million different answers to it. But then you really have to dig to find the right answers. Used to be, you wanted an answer, you go to encyclopedia, and most of the time that encyclopedia was pretty spot on about what it said, when it comes to that. So, to certain things. So it's, but now there's so much information at our fingertips, we have to cycle through what's true or what's not true, because there's so much information out there. But then saying, I don't have to have all the answers to this. Maybe there's not an answer to it. Maybe there's a problem that can't really be solved right now. But I do think that the answers will come. You just have to trust that they will come to you, and seek things out yourself. Maybe it takes a while for you to find the answer, but there may not be an answer to the situation, to the problem. All you can control is how you react. We talked about that before. You can only control how you react to certain situations, actually how you respond, and you can't control anything else besides that, your own response. So I believe too, my next thing I was going to say is that God wants us to be stable in Him so that nothing phases us. So spiritually, I think that He wants us to be stable to a place where we're not phased by things. As Paul says, he was content with everything, whether to be hungry or without, or whether he had enough or he had more than enough, or he was sick or not sick. He was content in the place where he was like, you know what, I'm content with the situation. Paul was put in jail and was in prison, and he learned to be content no matter where he was, whether he was shipwrecked or he was thrown overboard, whatever the situation was. Paul had to be content with the situation in his life, and then that contentment and the reliance on God got him to a much better place. And I think that's where He wants us to be, where we're content and that we're not phased by things like we used to be. Yeah. Ever if something happened to you and in the past you would have just been like, man, this is crazy, and it would just thrown you off. But now that you're older or you've gained more understanding on it, it doesn't really bother you like it used to. And that's what God wants us to get us with everything. David said that the Lord has delivered me from all my fears. I would love to be at a place where I could say, the Lord has delivered me from all my fears. That would be great to get at that place. And that's a place I think we need to all be at. That we don't fear anything anymore, I mean, I'm not there. I'm not at that place yet, but I'm more and more every day. I want to get to the place where I don't have those fears anymore, or anxieties, or they don't affect me like they used to. So, so just think about this too: that God loves the people we don't even like. So, God loves people in your life that you don't even like. The Creator of the universe loves people you don't even like. Think about that. So, if He loves people you don't even like, wouldn't it be better for us to get to a place where we also love like He does? We learn to forgive like He does. We learn to pray for those people like He does, or think or try to do things that benefit their life like He does. I'm not saying we become perfect at it, because we don't, but we get to a place where we become better at it. So, and to get to the place, another thing of getting low, you got letting go is saying to yourself, is my heart troubled? Stress that includes worry is not from God. Peace is from God. So you got to ask yourself, is my heart troubled? Am I troubled about this situation? Because I don't think that God wants us to even be at that place where we're troubled about the situation. He wants us to be a place where we rest and we're seeking out answers. We do have normal emotions to how we react to things, and when things hit us, we don't we want to go, our mind goes there, but he wants us to get to a place where we're not troubled by those things anymore. That we're like, you have the answer. I may not have the answer, but you have the answer. So peace is from him. John 14:27 says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world gives. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. My peace, my shalom, I have given to you. So God's peace, God can give you a peace that's beyond normal human peace. So if you're watching this and you don't believe in God, I'm just telling you right now that this is why my own self, I came to God, was the peace and the rest that he gave me. It wasn't so much getting all the answers and everything working out, but it was the peace and the rest that he gave me in the most dire circumstances. The peace, the rest, the forgiveness, and the love that he gave me when my life was a living hell. God stepped in and said, here I am, and gave me that place where I could rest in him. And that's why I trust in him. So Proverbs 14:30 says, a heart at peace gives life to the body. So when you're at peace and you're at rest and you're not worried and you're not stressed, it gives life to your body. It gives hope to you. So it can get you at a place where you think clear. Like I was saying earlier, thinking clearly, not being in unforgiveness, loving yourself, and being at that place, receiving God's love too, and realizing you are a lovable person. You are a special creation, and getting at that place. So let's look at the word shalom a little bit. I mentioned it earlier. It's an all-encompassing word. So the word peace, when I say peace, you think, oh, just peace. I feel good. Kumbaya, my Lord. You think about that, sitting around a campfire, being at peace, being at rest, or maybe being at a beach somewhere relaxing, or up in the mountains, somewhere on vacation. You think about being at that. But that word peace has a bigger meaning to it than just, these feeling of feeling goods. It actually it's a very all-encompassing word, which means completeness, safety, soundness in body, welfare, health, prosperity, quiet, tranquility, contentment, peace in human relationships, peace with God, especially in the covenant relationship we have with him, and peace from war. So, whoa, that's a lot there, right? The shalom, the peace of God, it's an all-encompassing word, and it means all that. So I'll repeat it again: completeness, safety, soundness in body and in mind, welfare, health, prosperity, quiet, tranquility, contentment, peace in your human relationships, peace with God and your covenant relationship, and peace from war. So when we're promised shalom, that's what we have. If you're watching this from America, which most of you are, we have lived in a lot of shalom for a long time. We take it for granted that we are in peace and we have peace because, so many other countries, war is just a part of the everyday life. Bombs going off and, gunfire. It's just a part of life, especially in some of the third world countries, But we take it for granted that most of our days, except for, 9/11 and certain little, random terrorist attacks that happen, most of the time we're living in pretty peaceful situations compared to the rest of the world. So we don't take that for granted. So peace from war. A life free from regrets, anxiety, and worry. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, man, letting go, man, it's a lot. I mean, how is that possible? With God, it's possible. And I think it's, once we grasp that reality that, hey, it can be possible for us, then we start to get free in our lives and we start to realize, hey, I can live a life where I'm not worried and I'm not stressed. I can live that kind of life. I don't think you completely get there without God, but I think you can get there. I want that for you. I want that for you for sure. A life of peace in the storm, free from all struggle, because the struggle is finished. So choosing that, and let me just say, struggle is going to come, situations are going to come, but letting us strive to be at a place where we don't, the struggle is around us, but the struggle is not in us, as I'm thinking about right now. So struggle's around us, but it's not in us, and getting a place of perfect peace. My favorite scripture in the Bible, Isaiah 26:3, he shall keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. So getting to a place of peace. letting go of your need for others to feel a certain way so you can feel loved and secured. So around you, you're getting to a place where you're not having to have others feel a certain way about you for you to feel loved and secured. You feel loved and secured regardless of how they feel about you, as I was saying earlier. We live in such a generation of noise. Things are going on all around us. And when we take time to step back, we take time to spend time resting and relaxing and thinking about things. In journaling and writing down the things, writing down things that stress you out, that worry you. I encourage you to do that. Writing down things that stress you out, that worry you, that influence you, and getting away from the noise. Getting away from all the busyness, putting the phone down, and taking time to just let your brain relax and rest. Staying off the social media as much as possible and letting yourself not being influenced by what people think so that you can be independent and you can become a better person. And getting to that place where you get to the place where you're getting away from the noise. And then also not hurrying in life. I find myself so many times when I'm working, sometimes I'm hurry, I gotta do this. But then I'm like, well, what if something's supposed to happen today and I'm in such a rush that I miss it? I run into someone and I'm in such a rush. I'm sorry, man, I can't talk to you. Or I run into, a situation where I have the opportunity to be compassionate. I can't be compassionate. I got things to do. You don't want to be in that. You don't want to be that way. I think about like New York City. There's just homeless people everywhere and there's people with situations going on and people just going about their day. They see something happen and they just going about their day and they don't care. They just look at it and go, oh, well, it's not my problem. And you want to be at a place where you're not in so much of a hurry that you can't see the opportunity for you to be compassionate and to give that forgiveness and love to other people. And so that's what I encourage you to do. Don't be in such a hurry in life. Always schedule rest in your schedule. Always schedule rest for yourself and do your best not to worry about things. Don't worry. Don't let them stress you out. If whatever you're worried about or stressed about, I used to have this thing when I was trying to pray or meditate or concentrate on something and things would come to my mind. It's always during that time things would come to my mind and I would start writing things down, jotting things down. And I do that now too. Something will come up, I got to do this, I got to do that. And I just put it in the notes and I forget about it. I put it in my notes and I forget about it. And then I come back to it later. Oh yeah, I wrote this down. I always find out my mind works like that sometimes when I'm chilling and relaxing. Oh, I got to do that. I got to this. I got to do this. I got to do that. So I got to go here. And then just relaxing and saying, you know what? I'm going to let my mind rest. I'm not going to worry. And then I'm going to write these things down and I'm going to continue to do this. My meditation, my prayer, my alone time, my rest. And I'm going to continue to get to that place. Like some people will go on vacation and their mind is still at work, And so getting to that place where you're letting your mind be at rest and not worrying, because that's mental toil. It's mental gymnastics. And you need to let the brain just go. I love Caroline Leaf, woman I follow, said when you have thoughts come in your mind, just let them come in and go out. They're going to come, a feeling, a negative thought, go in and go out. Don't grab it. Don't meditate on it. Don't camp out with it. Let it go in and go out. Let it go in and go out and just go on with life, So also things to do going forward, to help you accept people for where they are, accept situations for what they are, and accept not every action needs a reaction. So I know I'm repeating a lot of this stuff today, but I think it's very important because even though some of this stuff may seem like simplistic, oh yeah, I can do that. It requires an action to it. You've got to do these things. So there are some situations where you do need to let people go. And I want to name 5 of them. Situations you need to let go of people. You have people in your life. So we're talking about letting go of people now. So you need to let these people go. You need to release them. You don't need to hold on to them anymore. So number 1, you're no longer surprised by their behavior. You're just exhausted. So when they act out or when they do it, you're not surprised by it. You let the person go. You're holding on because you're afraid of the alternative. I've seen so many marriages like this. Examples of people that I know around me, marriages, holding on because they're afraid of the alternative. They're holding on to a relationship that has failed years ago. No intimacy in it anymore. Just people living together because they're afraid of the alternative. Instead of saying, hey, I do have security, but I need to work towards being independent again and trying to be happy again. You know, I don't think there's ever an age where you can't be happy. Some people, wow, I'm just like this. I'm just going to be like this. But I don't want to believe that, because I just think it's a miserable way to live. Number 3 is you're making yourself small to make them comfortable. Don't do that. It's not good. Don't make yourself small to make them comfortable. Be who you are. Be great. If you're supposed to have greatness inside of you, be that greatness. Love the person, forgive the person, but be great. Number 4, if they left you alone, you will be relieved. So if that person, if that person's not around you anymore and you feel relieved that they're not around and it's stressing you out, it's time to let them go. You constantly have to remove your boundaries, but they don't. Man. If you're removing and you're letting down your guard and you're moving the boundaries that you have with that person and they're not doing anything, deuces, adios. It's time to let them go. So those are 5 reasons where I would say, in forgiveness and letting go, you need to let these people go as those situations. So you let go so that you can be mentally strong. I control my reactions. This too shall pass, and I embrace the unknown. Let me repeat that again. And one more. I'm grateful for what I have. Focus on the blessings and not the losses. 5, I can learn from this. And 6, I can forgive myself. So I'm going to repeat those 6 again. These are ways. Okay, here's some ways to be letting go and be mentally strong. Number 1, I control my reactions. We're going back to what we said in the earlier. I control my reactions. Number 2, this too shall pass. Number 3, embracing the unknown. Number 4, I'm grateful for what I have. Focusing on the blessing, not the losses. I want to stop on that one real quick. So being grateful for, hey, I have food, I have shelter, I have a roof over my head, I have the ability to speak, I have the ability to hear, I can see, I can drive a car, I'm able to, I have a job, just starting to be grateful. When you're in a place where you feel stressed or worried, or, you just don't think you can go forward, or things aren't working out, start to be grateful. Start to say, I'm grateful for these things. They're simple, because some people don't have them. Some people don't have good water to drink. They don't have food. They don't have no way to get around. They walk everywhere. There's no transportation. The shelter is inadequate. So we need to think about these things. These are things we take for granted because we don't live, we live in a first world country. We don't live in a third world country. We take these things for granted, and we need to think, man, I have a bed to sleep in. I'm able to get 8 hours of sleep, if you're able to get that. And, some people, I'm able to have kids, you could say that. I'm able to have kids, I'm able to, I'm emotionally strong, whatever it is, being grateful for those moments, right now I'm feeling good about life, just being grateful for the moment, even though, tomorrow may not be a very good day, being grateful for today. So, and number 5 is I can learn from this, taking it, saying I can learn from this, I can learn from this situation. It may be bad. This may not be working out, but what do I need to learn from this? How do I need to grow from this? Number 6 is you forgive yourself. That's very important. We talked about that earlier. You're forgiving yourself and you're letting go of the situations. So I want to live a story with you, and then I'll be done. So so you want to living life like the tortoise and the lion. So let me share a story with you. So lions actually, people think of a lion as strength, courageous, all this stuff. But in the kingdom, lions have short lifespans, especially in the wild. In the captivity, they can live a lot longer. But in the wild, lions actually have short lifespans. They also have swollen adrenal glands. The glands of the lions in the wild are about 25% heavier than those in captivity. They are under intense stress in the wild because of having to hunt, having to fight other lions, having to fight other predators. So there's all these stress factors, and so they don't live as long. They have very short lifespans. But the tortoise, on the other hand, does everything slowly, chewing their food leisurely. But at the end of the day, the tortoise lives long. Giant tortoises have an average lifespan of over 100 years. So that should tell you something. Taking it easy, relaxing and resting. I think that's the main thing with the letting go is living the let go life is you're taking it easy. You're not worrying. You're not stressing. You're choosing to do these things. Working, there's a saying of working to be at rest. You think working to be at rest, where you're trying work to be at that place where you're not worrying and you're not stressed out, but you're working to be at rest, to being more like the turtle in your life, to enjoying life, enjoying every day, enjoying the people around you, and letting go of the situations that you can't control. Jesus said, if you abide in me and I abide in you, your life will be prosperous. You will have the abundant life. So today, I just want to leave you guys with that today, that letting go is such a huge thing, and forgiving people is such, for yourself is such a huge thing. Forgiveness and letting go are tied together. You can't separate them. And once you forgive yourself and you forgive other people and you work past resentment and anger and not harboring feelings, and you can look at people in a new light and not be angry at them anymore, not be stressed, but try to love like God loves, and then letting go of situations that you can't control and only doing what you can, only influencing how you can, your ability and what's in front of you, and doing that in a way where you don't get stressed out trying to get it accomplished, but you just take your time doing it, and you stay focused, and you stay laser sharp where you want to go, but you also take time out to slow down and say, hey, maybe there's a different plan for the day than what I've got, and I don't try to have to keep up with the Joneses, and that my life can be good, and I can be emotionally healthy, and get into that place where you can forgive and you can let go, and relationships can be restored, and unforgiveness can drip away, and you can be a complete person. That's where you want to be in your life, and I think that's possible through God. I think it's possible that through his presence and what he can do in your life.